a left-handed pitcher who really shut the Blue Jays down just 11 days ago.
Yeah, he shut him down over 7 innings, allowed just 1 run on 4 hits, and he had 1 walk and 3 strikeouts through exactly 100 pitches. His last appearance came pitching out of the bullpen, so this is his 5th start of the season. He has pitched a lot out of the bullpen early on when he first came up back in June, made an appearance in Boston and won that game as he pitched the 10th and 11th in extra innings and picked up his first big league win. Not overpowering, but he's got a very good changeup.
There it is right there, missing up and away, ball 1 to George Springer. John Schneider described Ian Seymour as funky and said that he thought the second time around not only would help the Blue Jays but help their coaches give them the game plan. Now that the coaches have seen Seymour, that maybe they've got a better read on him and can give the hitters a better game plan.
Well, and that's exactly what Tampa Bay thought about facing Savage for the second time. That didn't necessarily work out. He overmatched him again for a second time out, so hopefully the Blue Jays will be able to counteract this funky left-hander.
Springer had a base hit in 3 trips off Seymour. Ernie Clement had a single and a double off him. And Davis Schneider had a walk and a base hit. Those were basically the guys who got anything done against Seymour. And he is literally rocking into the windup as he's right over the outside corner, 3-2. Schneider hitting second today, Guerrero third. The Blue Jays down 1-0. Rip foul.
Yeah. Seymour doesn't have enough velocity to really beat you with his fastball, but he's got to sequence his pitches very effectively, and he's done that against the Blue Jays. He uses that fastball inside just to make you aware of that inside strike. Again, he comes right back in there. But his bread and butter is that changeup that he throws down and away. The league's hitting just 173 against the changeup, something the pitching coach Kyle Snyder loves.
And what we don't know is, will Kevin Cash let him throw 100 pitches if he's going well, or maybe not that many, given that he's a rookie. It's the last day of their season, and Kevin Cash used arguably their top 3 relievers in yesterday's game. So would they come back today? Again, these are things we don't know right now.
Yeah, I think they'll go with Seymour as long as he's effective today. First year pitcher. They've done a good job of keeping his innings down.
Springer takes a walk.
It was interesting, George's reaction after ball 4. He turned around to the on deck hitter Davis Schneider, said, okay, let's go. We'll get right back in this game right out of the chute. Interesting, this time of the year, you can see where the shadows are already crossing home plate. That's going to be a challenge for hitters as the day goes on.
Schneider drew a couple of walks in 3 plate appearances in yesterday's game. He continues to walk at a very high clip. In fact, among all American League hitters with 200 or more plate appearances, only Aaron Judge and Mike Trout have walked more often than Schneider. That's one of the reasons why he's put together an OPS right around 800.
He's really done a good job controlling the strike zone. That has a lot to do with why he's gotten so much regular playing time lately.
He just knows these are the kinds of pitches I can handle. These are the kinds of pitches I can. And he just refuses to swing at the ones that he doesn't think he can do damage on. That's in there, 2-1.
Yeah, and what he's done a good job of is he's looking for pitches on the inner half that he can do a lot of damage with, and really not chasing any borderline pitches away. That was something that he had an issue with last year, where those borderline pitches, he thought he could put them in play and he would chase them. Not the case this year.
Springer the lead, 2-1 on Schneider. Swung on and missed, 2-2.
That last fastball was just 90 miles an hour, and just shows you how Seymour has to locate it and put it in real good spots to be effective.
Bounces it in, now full. This will be interesting. Do they put Springer in motion? Davis does have some swing and miss in his game, so how do you feel about starting the runner here?
I would start him. You got to be aggressive. You can't lay back and wait for things to happen.
Not going. And that's ball 4. So back-to-back walks.
think the mindset for the Blue Jays is they have to take this game away from Tampa Bay. They can't sit back and say, well, maybe we'll get a break here or there. They got to be aggressive. You make sure you win this ball game. When you win this ball game, nobody has to think 1 minute about the New York Yankees.
John Schneider knows where the out-of-town scoreboard is here, but he doesn't want to fixate on that scoreboard. He wants them to take care of their own business here. And one big way to do that is for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to get back in on the offense. And there are 42,000 here and so many more watching on TV, listening on radio, who are thinking the same thing. Inside, ball one.
I thought that was really interesting that John Schneider had some words of encouragement for Vladdy before the start of this game.
On the inside corner, 1-1.
It's kind of a catch-22. If I encourage him, is he concerned about me? And then you don't know how it's going to be received as a player.
That's what Schneider said before the game. I might give him a pep talk, but I don't want him to take it as putting pressure, more pressure on himself, as he fouls it off 1-2. And of course, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is feeling pressure. He knows who he is and where he stands on this team. And Buck, without Bo Bichette, he probably even maybe puts a little bit more pressure on himself.
Yeah, I think that's been the case.
2-2.
One thing, even though his swing has been off, he hasn't chased a lot of bad pitches. He's making contact, but he's not making a lot of hard contact, but he's not forcing the issue by chasing bad pitches.
Into right field, a base hit. Springer's getting the wave. And is on his way to the plate. Guerrero has tied it with an RBI single.
Well, that's the thing of beauty for the team and for Vladdy. Springer is second base. He's been running great all season long. And Carlos Fabus, the third base coach, never hesitated. He saw the ball was going to be down in front of Josh Lowe. Springer gets a good read and breaks from second base, and Fabus waves him home. A very aggressive send by the third base coach, and the Blue Jays have tied it up right away. Here comes Springer looking at Fabus right there, and he saw the wave, and he's going to score easily.
And look how fired up Guerrero is to chip in here and tie the game. And now Kyle Snyder, the pitching coach for the Rays, is already out to the mound to talk with Ian Seymour, who again just stifled the Blue Jays 11 days ago. But it's been walk single here to begin the bottom of the first. And look who is the cleanup hitter today, Anthony Santander.
Santander has not faced Ian Seymour prior to this at bat right here. I'm a little surprised. That's a pretty early trip to the mound for the pitching coach. Yeah, he walked a couple, but he gave up a hit. Now it kind of set the tone for, hey, you know, you're in the jam right now. Nobody out, runners at first and second, and the cleanup hitter up.
Santander has played 3 games before today since returning. 1 for 8 with 4 strikeouts. And it's interesting, not that mound visits are something we actively track, but remember, Fiducia went to the mound after the second walk. They've used 2 of their 4 mound visits already, and they don't have an out in the first inning. Schneider at second and Guerrero at first. And it just misses. A ball and a strike on Santander.
Anthony's had some good swings from the right side. He lined out a couple games ago sharply to the third baseman.
Swings through that one up above the zone. 1-2. Up and away. I'll tell you this, Seymour is chewing through his pitch count pretty early here. He's at 23 already and doesn't have an out.
He threw 100 this season high last time he faced the Blue Jays over 7 innings, and not quite as efficient at the start of this game.
But on a day like this, it's not about getting a guy out of the game. It's about scoring runs off a guy before you get him out of the game. And a long look back at second, and it's fouled off by Santander.
I'm a little surprised Seymour has used his fastball a little more early on in this game than we saw it last time out.
Kevin Cash, Kyle Schneider in the first base dugout. The Blue Jays have tied it 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Santander strikes out. We'll get our first update from Jamie.
Number 5, Dalton Varsho.
Jamie, thank you. We will track that game all afternoon long, obviously. Kyle Bradish, Jamie mentioned, on the mound for the Orioles. He's a good one. Luis Heel is on the mound for the Yankees, and they're now through the top of the second. So heading bottom 2 in the Bronx, the Yankees coming up leading 1-0. The batter's Dalton Varsho. Line drive to right field, and it's a base hit. Both runners had to make sure it got down, so Schneider will not score, but the bases are loaded.
Yeah, and you know what? John Schneider made a wise decision when he kept Varsho and Addison Barger in the lineup. 2 lefties against the left-handed starter, Seymour. Because Seymour is not overpowering. He doesn't have that great fastball up in the zone, and he felt like if I have 2 left-handers, I don't have a right-handed hitting lineup that Seymour can get really comfortable with the same target hitter after hitter after hitter. He's got to adjust when he sees a lefty in this lineup.
Huge spot early. Alejandro Kirk is the batter, hit a home run yesterday. Obviously a double play candidate if the ball's on the ground. So can he get anything in the air here in this big spot? Takes it high, ball 1.
The home run he hit yesterday was his first homer since September 3rd in Cincinnati. He's really been struggling, but boy, he smoked that pitch. It was a high pitch up in the zone, and he drilled it into the second deck and left.
Borderline strike, 1-1.
Here in this situation, you want to make sure you get the ball up in the zone, something you can get in the air. Obviously, he wants to hit the ball at least to the outfield.
Swings through a pitch up above the zone, 1-2.
I have no problem with that. That's the ball you want to hit, that one that's up in the zone. He's been a great high fastball hitter most of the season long.
Schneider at third, Guerrero at second, Varsho at first, 1 out. Way up and away, 2-2.
Well, this is very interesting. 31 pitches already in this inning for Ian Seymour.
But can they get the one big hit to really pay it off here in the bottom of the first? Out of play.
That's a good approach right there. He's not trying to be too quick. He's staying back, letting the ball travel.
Well, and if you look at the infield defense, there's a way bigger hole on the right side than there is on the left side. You can see the second baseman shading up the middle. And how many times have we seen Kirk hit line drives to right center? Out of play again.
And then staying on that ball away. Well, Kirk's been one of the best 2-strike hitters in the game all season long. And a bit of a struggle for most of this month of September, but that swing yesterday certainly encouraging.
2-2 again. And a drive to deep left field. Gone!
Dalton Varsho hit a grand slam on Thursday to salvage that final game against the Red Sox. And how about Alejandro Kirk? He hit that dramatic home run yesterday and follows it up with one that's even more dramatic.
I have a feeling, Buck, he will always remember his first career grand slam.
You betcha he will. So will everybody else in that dugout.
Long way to go, but boy, what a way to start.
Kidding me?
And fouled off several pitches to extend that at bat until he got one he could handle.
Now, he had the right mindset. He was thinking about something up in his zone, not trying to be too quick. And he got a mistake, and he didn't miss it.
Swing and a miss. Dalton Varsho strikes out. 2 down. Here is another look or two at the Kirk home run.
We can spend all day long looking at this one. It's a high pitch, and he knows he got it. He takes a pause coming out of the box, and then he celebrates. And what a big hit. How about these two guys, Guerrero and Kirk, who've been struggling coming up with big hits on the final day of the season. Another look. What a dramatic swing from the Blue Jays catcher. His first career grand slam.
That changeup is such a good pitch for Seymour, but instead of being off the plate and down, it was over the plate, inner half. And Kirk made him pay. Now Clement strikes out. The inning is over, but what a way to start it for the Blue Jays. And that man responsible for most of it. A lot of raw emotion for Alejandro Kirk in a game that means so much.